Welcome. Finally, we are here in the sitting poses. As you probably noticed by now, sitting poses have a lot more balancing, lot more grounding that happens, and they're more easier to do. Unlike a standing pose where there's a toppling imbalance or a little bit of fear of falling off, we don't have anything here. So you should probably enjoy these poses more. Now, today we'll look at something called chakras. Chakra in yogic language means energy channels or energy systems in our body. We have 7 chakra. So today we look at the first chakra. It's also called the root chakra. The root chakra is situated right in the base of the spine or our entire pelvic area. When the chakras are all balanced, all your functions, each one of the chakra has a certain function, certain task it performs. When they are all balanced, your life runs smoothly without any illness, without any disease or any unnatural things happening in your life. So the first chakra ensures that your excretionary system is healthy and working well. So we have 2 poses for that. So let's go ahead and demonstrate these 2 poses to make sure that we have a good working first chakra. The first pose for this chakra is called the garland pose or the malasana. So what happens with this pose is that from where you're sitting, just come over, just bring your feet to the front. All you have to do is just come to sit on your feet. That's it. So this is called the garland pose. Now it looks very simple. It seems that we are doing nothing here. But if you realize what's happening in our life, we always sit in a certain pose all through the day. I call this a chair asana, right? You early in the morning get up, you sit in your sofa, you drive to the office in your car, you sit in your office whole day in a chair, come home, you relax in your sofa. So what happens is we are sitting in a poses our bodies are not designed for. So over a period of time, when you sit in a sofa all day in and out, your legs, they lose their suppleness, they become weak, they lose their flexibility. Now this pose looks easy if you look at it, but people cannot sit in this pose for more than 30 seconds. So what we do is, we just come here, sit here, see how long you can sit here, and when this improves over a period of time, you can see the difference that feels in your legs. Your legs feel strong and powerful. Okay, so what you do is just sit up here and breathe for 30 seconds or 5 breaths. You can start with 5 breaths, see how you can gradually increase it over a period of time. For many of you who have a tough time sitting here, I would recommend taking a block and bringing it underneath. You can just sit on a block. Sit on a block to begin with. If you can do this, that's a great start to this practice. So sit on a block, or you can always, if you feel you're going to topple off, if you feel there's imbalance happening, stretch out your hands to the front. So this way there's a lot of balance in your pose. So that's the garland pose. Now if you want to increase the difficulty, you can always do this. Bring your hands underneath your hips and stay here for 5 breaths. The second pose in this category is called seated bending pose, also called Paschimottanasana. It's even called west facing seated pose. So what we do with this pose is, this pose apparently has, I read in the yoga journal, it says it increases a person's height. How amazing is that? I never thought there's a pose which does that. So please do try this pose and see if it makes any difference for you. So what we do is, I'm just going to do a side turn. Sit up straight on your back. Throw your legs to the front. With an inhale, take your hands all the way to the top. With inhale, with an exhale, what we do is we come forward. We come forward and we can see that. This is the Paschimottanasana. Now, if you're someone who is doing this pose in the very beginning, you may have a tough time even just doing this. You may have a tough time even touching your feet. That's perfectly all right. It takes several weeks and months for you able to get the flexibility here. So a couple of things you can do. First thing is, be sure to bend your knees if you have to. Bend your knees to hold your legs. If you have a problem of tight hamstrings, bend your knees and hold your feet. Or you can always take a blanket or a pillow, put it under your legs. This makes it much more easier. You can see that the bending happens much more organically. Or third thing, what I normally do is, I usually bring a couple of things, maybe a pillow or a blanket or a bolster on my knees here. So all I have to do is bend this much. For a period of week, gradually you can remove the block and see how much you can bend. And you can remove it somewhere and go down how much ever you can. So this helps you balance yourself, rest yourself without the fear of toppling over. There you go. So that's Paschimottanasana. Be sure to breathe. And if you still have problem getting anywhere near this pose, I would recommend taking your feet apart into another pose called Samavishta Konasana. You can always take your feet this way. You'll notice that it's much easier doing this pose compared to the other one. You'll see that there's less distance to cover. You can try this one, see if it helps you. Okay. That's one option. The third option I've seen some people do is, this will become much more easier. Fold one of your feet, sit up straight, gently fold yourself to the front. I am going to place one of my hand on this knee, other one on this feet here, and start pulling myself. You can see that the length of the pull, the length of bending seems more in this side. Same thing goes. You can always bring your leg here and gently see how much the bend happens when you do this pose. So that's Paschimottanasana. Those are the two poses. Welcome to your life lesson of the day. At some point in our life, we all arrive at the same conclusion. No matter how good of an education you have, your amazing accomplishments, your big connections, or your family inheritance which awaits for you someday, if you don't have good health, all of those means nothing. One realizes the value of good health only when it's truly gone. Now, to do good health, you can go to a doctor, cure yourself of some ailment, but you cannot buy good health from a doctor. That's something which you have to strive forward and ensure that you work hard to maintain good health. And physical practice plays a major role in ensuring that you keep good health. But what if you are at a certain stage in life? What if you are at a certain age where you can no longer continue doing what you're doing, the exercises or the sports or whatever you've been doing to keep up the good health? So you need a practice that is gentle yet safe and effective in a way that you can continue the momentum from where you have left off at that stage. Think of it this way. At age 40, around age 40, your body is like that of a car with 250,000 kilometers on it, which means that it has gone through various ups and downs. It has seen many injuries, and it is very likely on a downward trend. So your dream of participating in Olympics are far behind. It's not going to happen anytime once you cross a certain age. Our body is like a car which doesn't have rental or lease options. You have to ensure that your body lasts its remaining lifetime expectancy on its own. There's no replacement parts or anything happening. So how do you do this safely? Now, one of the ways is this is where yoga comes into picture, and yoga helps you maintain your health without any expensive equipment. You don't have to spend any money on anything. You don't have to have be tied down to equipment, whether you are on a vacation or whether you are working or busy or whatever reasons. Just having a space of 6 foot by 2 foot, that's all you need. 6 by 2 is all you need, and a mat, you're all set. The important thing is to remember that yoga is not something which came up yesterday or last year or a couple of years back. It is a practice that has been tested and tried and used by millions of people over a period of 5,000 years. So you have a history of 5,000 years backing you up. So safely, without any hesitation, I strongly recommend you to pick up the yoga practice, and I hope it benefits your life as much as it has benefited me and changes your life as much as it has changed me. And thank you for joining me here.